I have to say, I am getting sick and tired of House Republicans politicizing the Department of Homeland Security. There are common sense bipartisan actions that this committee could be taking up to improve security along the southern border. But instead of advancing smart policies to keep Americans safe, the Republicans have resorted to the type of political theater and Biden bashing that the American people are sick of. We know there are challenges at the border because poverty and political instability are causing millions of people to flee their home countries. But the notion that President Biden or Secretary Mayorkas are guilty of, quote, dereliction of duty are absurd. President Biden and Secretary Mayorkas have been proactive in taking steps to protect our homeland. Here are the facts. April 27th, 2021, just 2 months after taking office, Secretary Mayorkas launched Operation Sentinel to combat criminal organizations smuggling migrants across the border. June 7th, 2021, Secretary Mayorkas launched Joint Task Force Alpha to crack down on trafficking groups in Mexico and the Northern Triangle countries of Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras. November 2021, President Biden's infrastructure bill delivered $430 million to Customs and Border Protection, above previously budgeted levels for enhanced security at points of entry. Nearly every House Republican voted no. December 15th, 2021, President Biden signed Executive Order 14060, establishing the U.S. Council on Transnational Organized Crime with a focus on enhancing operational and intelligence capabilities to disrupt transnational crime organizations. In 2022, the Biden administration and congressional Democrats passed a Homeland Security funding measure that added 300 Border Patrol agents and 125 CBP officers. Every House Republican voted no because it had Joe Biden's name on it. In 2023, Secretary Mayorkas launched Operation Blue Lotus and Operation Four Horsemen to disrupt narcotics trafficking at and between points of entry. April 2023, the Biden Justice Department unsealed charges against 28 leaders of the Sinaloa cartel engaged in drug trafficking and other crimes. The list goes on and on. This is just a sample of the actions that the administration has taken to improve security on the border. But of course, you do not hear House Republicans talking about any of this because it doesn't fit their narrative. The only dereliction of duty here is House Republicans wasting time on political games instead of focusing on the real problems that we need to tackle to protect the homeland. Let's look again at the record. House Republicans introduced a measure to impeach Secretary Mayorkas 2 years ago when he had only been in office for 6 months. Politics. A leader of this committee in a closed-door fundraiser months ago announced that Republicans were going to impeach the secretary and said, quote, get the popcorn, it's going to be fun.
Gentlemen, yield. That's not what I said. So I want to correct the record. I never used the word impeachment. And I'm tired of this continual narrative falsely quoting me. I won't allow it, Mr. Magaziner.
Listen.
Continue your testimony.
I'll continue. Listen, another member of this committee, Ms. Green, just a few days ago, told the press that she voted on the debt ceiling bill only in exchange for a, quote, beautiful dessert, which is impeachment. So this has always been about politics and political games, and the most important fact is this. Since the expiration of President Trump's Title 42 policy, illegal border crossings are down 70%, and even when you include CBP One app appointments, which are legal, they're still down more than 60% since the expiration of Title 42. So there are a lot of things that we could be doing. Instead, we're wasting our time on theater. Now, Mr. Wolf, during your time running the Department of Homeland Security, were you ever impeached?
No.
No. During your time working at DHS in the Trump administration, did you prevent all unlawful entries into the United States?
We worked every day to do that.
But did you prevent all unlawful entries, yes or no?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm confused because I read Mr. Higgins' articles of impeachment that he filed a few days ago, and in short, they say that Secretary Mayorkas should be impeached because he failed to maintain operational control at the border, defined as the prevention of all illegal entries into the United States. So I don't understand. Why didn't we impeach the DHS director under the Trump administration or any prior administration if that's the standard that warrants impeachment? Political theater, that's why. That's all this is, and with that, I yield back.
Gentlemen,